Good morning, everyone. You know, as he said, I'm from the ed tech and education space. So, thoda sa teacher ka culture andar aa gaya hai. So, we like a vibrant classroom and would love in case there's a little bit of participation from everyone. Okay? Fine? Not okay? Lovely. So, you know, I've been asked to speak out here, okay? But the knowledge that I have, I think the knowledge present in this particular audience is manifolds, right? So I'll be playing the role more of a facilitator out here and try to pick your brains on the topic. I have like stalwarts like Mr. Suraj Chetri out here. Unke samne, you know, in front of them talking is a little difficult, right? But having said that, you all have heard about my topic. What's the topic? Please see your papers. Quiz. Please see your papers. I have a tongue twister of a name. Next to that, there's a topic written. What's the topic? Cultural transformation, right? Initially, I thought I'll bring in a PPT. In fact, I have that. But then I realized it's going to get cliched, so I'm not going to use any PPT. I have a few points here, which I'll talk about. But again, there's a joke that I'd like to begin with, you know? There was a panel discussion wherein there was a question asked. Who transformed your culture? This was recently. Who do you think transformed your culture? So if that question is asked to you, your CEO, your COO, your CHRO, your head of HR, some young stalwart coming in, some millennial coming up, who transformed your culture? If that question is asked to you, what would you answer? Anyone? Yes, yes. I think yes, that's not a joke. That is the right answer. What is that? I heard someone. Yes, the lady towards the end. Yes. People of the organization. I'm talking about the recent times. What do you think has been a catalyst of change? What has transformed our culture? Social media. COVID-19. Yes, I heard somewhere, right? Absolutely. I think the biggest change agent for our culture in our organization in the current scenario has been COVID. Hasn't it been so? Yes, no, maybe. Thank you. So, you know, last year I was a part of a panel discussion where I made a statement. COVID-19 has been like a time machine for all of us, right? Hasn't it been a time machine? Things what we thought we'll do probably 3 or 4 years down the line, we were kind of coaxed into doing so at that particular moment. How many of us did not get into digital transformation out of necessity rather than out of choice? How many of us hastened our digital transformation out of necessity a couple of years back? Anybody who, COVID, no COVID, everything remained same, or things changed because of COVID? A show of hands, please. I still see people getting into it, but a show of hands, please. Yes, no? Perfect. Okay, lovely. So we are here to talk about cultural transformation in the new workplace. One of the first points, then I'll come to you, I'll pick your brains as I said. One of the first point that I'd like to put across is the current trend of culture. One of the most significant aspect is digitization, tech, embedding tech in the way we work has been out of necessity rather than being out of choice. So I would request you all to share 1 or 2 best practices. What have you done in terms of digitization or tech intervention to change your culture? Somebody who would like to share a few points? Anyone here? Kuch to kiya hoga yaar. I'm very sure we have leaders out here who have immense knowledge, plethora of knowledge. Please help me out. Anything that you have done in your organization in this aspect? Anybody would like to share? Yes, ma'am, right out there.
I'm Dr. Kirti from Institute of Health Management Research. So it's an educational institute, and we have adopted the hybrid mode where we have channelized the teaching with the help of online as well as offline. And not only faculty, we have trained our students also to go through MS Office, MS Teams, as well as Zoom. So all those tech-based software we have adopted to use and to teach as well.
Brilliant point. So there's one very important aspect that I'd like to draw your attention to. Thanks a lot, Dr. Kirti. Thank you for sharing your valuable input. a couple of aspects which becomes key out here in what Dr. Kirti said is, we went hybrid, right? All of us have gone hybrid in some way or the other. When we go hybrid, how is it different from what we were doing earlier and total, absolutely, completely remote way of working? What is the difference in hybrid and complete remote working? Anyone would like to share? Does it have positives or a lot of negatives? One positive, one negative from someone, please. I think that's a very valuable point. Thanks a lot. May I get your name, please? Mr. Vikram Bhaskar, thanks a lot. Very, very valid point which has been brought up. So, one aspect out here is what the pandemic has led us to do, which is go hybrid out of necessity. And what challenge does it pose? Misuse, communication gap, difficulty in communicating. Now, this brings us to the next point. What are we doing? Changes in management style in order to curb this particular challenge. Is this the biggest challenge? Is this the biggest challenge when we go hybrid or remote, that many a times we do not have that in-depth a connect with our people? Initially, we are doing multiple things to enhance it. But isn't this the biggest challenge? Yes, no, maybe? Yes. Am I boring you all? 20 minutes है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं लूँगा. Please don't worry. Okay, but in these 20 minutes, would love it in case get a little bit of response from each one of us out here. So, this particular aspect of going hybrid has brought in, the intent has been something, it has brought about a lot of positives. Along with that, it has put forth a challenge for all of us. And that is ensuring, bhai, is everyone actually working in spirit, or there are ways and means of, moonlighting and other aspects which we all HR leaders are aware of. Change in management styles, measurement metrics is quintessential to help us take care of this aspect. We have our veteran Suraj out here. Suraj, would you like to share a few inputs on what do you think as an organization or as India Incorporated we can do, or what we have been doing in order to curb that, the changes in management styles, which we can, bring about to change the culture. Yeah.
Deepayan, I think you have to have your ears to the ground. And I think what has brought you so far will not take you into the future. And so this is a completely new style of leadership that you have to be sensitive to the entire organization, and you can no longer be the big panda sitting on top and thinking that everything is going to be hunky-dory. I think the realization that things are changing, and things are changing at the speed of light, and if you don't catch the train, I think you will be left out as an organization. And I think in the great resignation, you'll be shocked you will be quoting 40 to 50% attrition every year.
Thanks a lot, Suraj. A big round of applause for him. One of the best speakers that I've heard over the years, and he is an inspiration to a lot of us. Thank you, Suraj. Yes, a very, very valid point. We need to be connected to the ground. We need to be real. Gyan ki baatein nahi bhai. There are a lot of, we have all studied in B schools or learnt a lot of things, but this is on-ground reality. I'd like to refer to Bhagavad Gita out here, one of the best management books in the world. We talk about bird's eye view and strategy, tactics and all. It's nothing but Garuda Drishti and Sarpa Drishti, right? Garuda Drishti is bird's eye view. Sarpa Drishti is when you're on ground and tactical, as Suraj was saying. Not intending to sound religious out here, but pure management, okay? Do read it, amazing explanation by the master strategist Krishna himself, right? Now, another aspect that we need to look into to change the way we look at things culturally is changing recruitment strategies, right? How many of us out here have changed our recruitment strategies over the last 1.5 years to ensure that we stay relevant? Can I see a show of hands? That will become one of the quintessential clogs in ensuring that we transform our culture, keeping in mind in the new trends coming up. Change in recruitment strategies? Yes, ma'am. Can we hear from you? What are the changes in recruitment strategies which you have done? I'll go and give you the mic. Is there a mic for her? Yeah.
We don't have this hybrid culture, and probably, you know, it is very difficult. We hire from, say, people from very, very remote locations of India. So probably the new strategy that we had adopted was into stepping into having video conferences, connecting people through, you know, through probably the technology, and you have people across having also connected. Maybe that's the biggest change that we did. Hiring people, say, using the virtual connects that we have.
Excellent. Okay, anyone else out here? Front benchers. Can we hear? Yes, please. Can we get a mic here, please? It would be great if you could speak up your name and give a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Sanket. I work with my HR team for Servier, which is a French pharmaceutical company. Just around COVID and when we started COVID, what we looked at is with the flow, you know, we're not left with any other choice than going towards video conferencing. The Zooms and the Teams filled up our spaces and the calendars. What we looked at is to move away from the traditional functional recruitment, which of course would happen down the line when you talk to the line manager. We prioritized looking at elements of a culture or the kind of competencies as an organization we want to hire is something that came to the forefront. We moved away from asking the traditional questions, and there are certain systems, technology-based systems, where we address standard set of questionnaires, where an employee at his flexible time to the day could video record his answers on those questions which are absolutely not functional, absolutely not introduce yourself types. And with that, we kind of try and sense the natural self that the present candidate could provide in his comfort environment. It helped us in two things. One, look beyond the essentials of function and look at the corporate or the competencies that you want to drive. Two is, anyways, when you are going to get into a webinar, he's going to mask himself. So you give him time and understand him from his perspective in his comfort zone. That's how we all are working from work from home. So you allow him to be comfortable and ask him questions which are not work per se. It helped us to actually look at some amazing, surprising results where people impressed us well before the interviews, and we could actually screen the candidates without even interviewing them per se.
Thanks a lot, Sanket. I think a very, very valuable point, and I'm pretty sure that most of us have, if not exactly in a similar manner, but we have implemented something of this similar nature, whether be it for interviewing or even for sales. The usage of virtual medium, a video conference, a video pitch, a virtual 3D tour, these things have grown manifolds in the last couple of years, right? Yes, no? Perfect. So I think I have another 4 or 5 minutes time, so I'll try and 3 minutes time. So I'll go a little fast. There are a couple of additional points which I think would go a long way in helping us transform our culture. The first bit is the concept of culture itself. Culture normally is something which we try to make in terms of, this is a culture, this is our organization, this is how we want to go about it. This has been the age-old formulae. It has been primarily top-down. It has worked. But as Suraj rightly highlighted, we need to be tactical. We need to have our ears to the ground. Right now is the time wherein we have to co-create culture. We have to be inclusive. We have to involve our people in creating a culture. And it is a culture which has to be designed keeping in mind what is it that is attracting our people to work, stay motivated, and perform, right? Our previous generations, our forefathers, they worked to merely survive, right? Zinda rehna hai, isliye kaam karna hai. The next generation worked to get bread on the table. The next generation work to have security, stability. We are working, our generation is working to enhance our lifestyles. What is the next generation working for? The millennials. The next important point is we have to understand Gen Z, 97 to 2012. You know, we have people who are like born in the 2000s, that it makes me feel very old. What is it that is going to motivate Gen Z? Staying connected to the ground, one of the quintessential aspects is this. In another 7 to 8 years, 1 out of 3 people working with us would be Gen Z. Are we designed, are we calibrated to their mindsets? Do we have enough and more mechanism, ammunition, methodologies to attract them? And it's not just about attracting them. It's the concept of ARESC, which we have read in all management schools, right? Attention, retention, education, suggestion, and conviction, right? Do we have that ARESC to keep them engaged throughout? Because nahi to fir great resignation hoga. 50%, right? So we need to ensure that we have enough and more to keep them interested. We have to strategize, we have to formulate a culture keeping that in mind. And the last point, 30 more seconds, is that we need to be thinking proactively even about technology which we are a little apprehensive to embrace. Metaverse, for that matter. We all hear, we all talk about metaverse. But when it comes to implementing, abhi bhi there's a little bit of, are nahi karna hai. Let us not wait for a situation, God forbid, wherein we are forced to do so when we are underprepared, right? Of course, we human minds are very sharp, we will, but let us be proactive towards it. I'm sure all of us briefly understand what metaverse is. Let us bring in technology. Let us bring in metaverse to ensure that we can engage our people better, we can help them give an environment, we can take care of their psychological needs, their wellness, and ensure that corporate India, the corporate world, is more productive no matter what the challenges come in, and we all are culturally aligned with the core objectives with our organization, of our organization. Thanks a lot. Daipayan Banerjee here from Deeksha. We are an education and ed tech company. For us, wellness is one of the core DNAs of what we do. We have Deeksha group of institutions, which are 11th and 12th colleges. We have launched Deeksha STEM schools in Bangalore. We have our tech, the government of Karnataka Get CT Go app, that's us. There are multiple tech interventions, B2B products which we have. Plus we run our physical schools and colleges as well, wherein education is imparted to teach, not just to pass exams. Daipayan Banerjee, humble to be here. Thanks a lot for being patient and listening. Have a great day. Thank you.